Greetings, greeting. Wow, hey, hello.
Hey.
Hi, what a pleasure to have you and participate in this. It's
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
yeah, I was reading on the film Freeway, the statement and about you. It's so impressive what you've done and what your focus is on and how you're just navigating, through your career. And
Thank you
where
so
and
much.
how you got started as a child actress, which is pretty amazing.
Right.
Pretty amazing, yeah, to have those opportunities.
Thank
Um
you.
Yeah, thank you for being here. So our first event is 31st. Super excited. Tomorrow I'm finalizing the awards and we'll be emailing you a certificate copy and it can be
Fantastic.
easily printed out, and I wish I could send you a physical framed copy, but it's not in our budget to be able to do that. So, but
All good. I appreciate the award. Thank you so
yeah.
much for letting me know.
Phenomenal short. Phenomenal short. I have to classify it as like not just it's a comedy, but it's like musical, but it's like one of the best entries that we've gotten for
Oh,
sure. Yeah, I mean we've gotten a lot of entries, but as far as the comedy and just the film work, how expressive it was, the movement and how it was just like really professionally done. Even the acting was like spot on. It's an
you.
achievement. It's definitely an achievement. So congratulations on that. Um,
Thank you so much. That really means a lot. So thank you. It's just wonderful to hear that.
you're welcome. So a few questions. Obviously I read the statement and who you are and all that, but for anyone who's gonna watch, they're not gonna know. So I'd like to get into a little bit of your history, how you got
Sure.
started, and then where as a fuller like adult, young adult, where what you were thinking, career path, and then kind of get into I know you've done several shorts, but let's focus. We can talk about those too if you'd like, but I want to focus on how this came together.
Yeah.
The amount of producers you have is impressive. I'm sure the team was impressive, so I'd love to hear that as well. So
Yeah, you got it.
the floor is yours, please.
Cool. Yeah, so for those who don't know, I'm Lauren Schaffel. I'm the writer, producer, and actor in the short musical comedy film Catalogue of Noses. And we are so thrilled to be part of the State Gold Film Festival. So thank you, Lasso. Thank
You're
you,
welcome. Most
everyone.
welcome. Yeah, pleasure.
Um, yeah, so my story, this film is inspired by my own life story of growing up as a
Mhm.
Jewish child actor in Los Angeles and getting a nose job at 16.
It's
And
crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny as a teen, there
hmm
was just like one way, and that was, felt like a sure decision at the time to go ahead and
Wow.
do that. And we're talking about 2004, a different time and just different space in the entertainment industry.
hmm
Um, but as an adult, as I kind of grew up and went through the world, and um, I realized, wow, you know what? That was a little messed up. Like,
hmm
I didn't really have much of a say in this decision. It just felt like something that was inevitable in order to succeed as
hmm
an actor, anyway.
Right.
So, yeah, I moved back I was living in New York for about 12 years, and I moved back to Los Angeles in 2022, and I started working with a theater company out here called Jew Face. And yeah, kind of a provocative title
Yeah.
for a theater company. And they were really looking to do that, kind of make these provocative, taboo, new Jewish plays that were kind of touching on these like controversial topics within Jewish culture.
Sure.
And I pitched them this idea for Catalogue of Noses, originally as a 10-minute play
Ah.
about a girl who's going through this experience on the day of her scheduled rhinoplasty and facing
hmm
off with her mom and her plastic surgeon about whether or not she should go under the knife and get a rhinoplasty.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to be a musical as well. That was like part of the original idea. As someone who grew up doing a lot of musical theater and
hmm
loves musicals, um, I realized the perfect musical for this particular story was Fiddler on the Roof,
Yeah, funny.
which,
It was
yeah,
such a beautiful combination of like what the subject matter was, in the industry and then including the music. I mean, it was just perfect. I mean, it was just like
thank
the
you.
perfect combination of things.
Thank
Very,
you.
very
Thank
creative, very creative. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny when people ask me, like, wow, like, why a musical? To me, it was like, obviously, no brainer. It just made sense in my brain of like, these two things go together, like
Yeah.
pressures of assimilation and beauty standards, but also this particular experience I had as a Jewish, teen, and the
Yeah.
story of trying to conform and fit into American culture and American beauty standards. To me, Fiddler on the Roof is just the Jewish American experience of kind of putting that on the map, but
For
then
sure.
also widely universal.
Hmm.
Of just, I think what the coolest part of this whole process has been is learning that so many people have had similar experiences
Wow.
with
Yeah.
changing
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
appearance. It goes across cultures, across
Well, let me just
genders.
add the crazy thing I see now is I'm not trying to pronounce it, the Ozempic thing,
Oh,
where people
totally.
are like totally getting so thin that it's like it looks
Right.
unnatural and unhealthy. So I mean,
Yeah,
it's not really that far off from,
totally.
what you're discussing, a different thing, but it's like in the same realm.
Exactly. Yeah, I mentioned 2004 felt like its own specific moment, but
Hmm.
2026, I would say, is maybe even more challenging. Like now we
Yeah.
have social media and all of these, everyone's looking at everyone's face all the time and
Yeah.
all these filters and all these pressures to just look
Judging, making statements,
totally,
hurtful, and yeah, it could definitely
totally.
mess with you for sure.
Yeah. So it was just, yeah, it's really kind of taken me by surprise how this story has resonated
Hmm.
far and wide. And just that's to me the most rewarding part of the process now is just hearing so many different audiences and places we've screened at all over the world. Just people reaching out and being like, yep, I have that same story or this something similar, be it, yeah, Ozempic,
Yeah,
be it,
yeah.
hair, be it teeth, be it body image. It's just wild.
Yeah, I mean, male actors do some surgery too, just
Totally.
to be like, well, I want to be the leading man, and they're telling me, well, my chin isn't quite right, or this isn't quite right, or
Right.
you look too average, for example, and it's just
Ugh,
like you hear it all the time, and they say not to get offended by that and just move on, but it's the same time, it's like it can mess your psyche up, and then you find yourself
100%.
making those decisions, right? Like you're kind of persuaded, and then years later, like you said, you go, why did I
Yeah,
do that?
why?
Why? I mean,
Right. And I feel
yeah.
like we're also in this interesting time in the entertainment industry when we are looking for more authenticity and we are
Hmm.
looking for people,
So
you
true.
know, right? Like we
I
want
noticed that.
representation.
I've noticed something that I was talking to a friend just to chime in real quick. I feel like movies today, it seems like not all of them, but I seen a majority of them. You look at and you're like, wow, these people look like models. And
Right.
you go back to the 80s and 90s, sure, you had like that hunk or whatever, but at the same time, it was filled with such like diversity of faces and all
Yeah.
this. And it's like, it's hard to see that. I've seen some movies that still kind of do that, but it's like, it's almost like a rarity. Um,
Exactly. Exactly. So it's a tricky time.
yeah.
It's hard. But
So,
yeah,
yeah,
oh yeah, no, sorry.
I was gonna say, do you want to, well, you can talk about what, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to kind of touch on your, like, kind of how you grew up as a child and getting into like
Sure.
these little like appearances on like Will and Grace and things like that, and then how
Yeah,
that must have been really inspirational for you to be like, yeah, I want to be an actress, I want to get in this. So I would love to
totally.
hear your story of your youth and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, growing up here in LA, I was discovered in a kids gymnastics class. I was
Oh wow.
about 5 years old, was scouted by a talent manager. And I mean, I was five. I didn't know what was going on. I just
Sure.
knew, playing pretend was fun. And I loved, I was always like a pretty chatty, like bright-eyed kid.
Nice.
So, yeah, I kind of fell into working on a lot of multi-camera sitcoms. So, Will and Grace, as you mentioned, Just Shoot Me, a
Mm-hmm.
show called Still Standing,
Mm-hmm.
some other pilots and things, the voice of Lucy in several Peanuts series and
Yeah, I saw
films.
that. Yeah, that was pretty
Yeah,
cool. Yeah.
so much fun. And it just made, I think working on all those sets made this comedic timing and rhythm just sort of become part of my DNA. And I
Nice.
just like to this day, it's still my favorite genre to watch. I
I
love
was gonna
watching
ask you,
sitcoms.
are you gonna keep going down that path? Cool. Cool, very cool.
100%. I mean, also, I love a good dark comedy too. I love a little like drama sprinkled in and
Hmm.
comedy with heart, but like fast-paced, witty dialogue
Yeah.
and back and forth banter. That's my favorite.
Nice. Yeah.
So, yeah, it really did, I think, inform when I decided to start writing as well. That happened later on. I've always been in front of the camera, always, and still love it. But
Hmm.
when I kind of during COVID, I would say, during the pandemic, I got kind of tired of just, being like, there's nothing going on. Like,
Hmm.
everything's shut down. What do we do? So let's try writing stuff. Let's just see what comes out of my brain.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's really, I would say it's informed pretty much everything I've written, this kind of comedic style and wanting to make people laugh and entertain, really,
Yeah.
just,
That's really cool. I love that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so I mean, have you been in writing labs or like taken anything for that
Yes.
particular? Cool.
Yeah, so when I moved back to LA, I started studying at the Groundlings, which is a big comedy school out here.
Very
And
cool.
I took classes there as a teen actually as well, but
Oh,
moving back as an adult, you can like go through their whole program. And so yeah, I took their writing lab, an advanced writing lab there. And then from there I started writing some sketches and kind of micro shorts
nice.
and writing characters and fun stuff
Hmm.
like that. And then, yeah, I started working too with a writing lab out here called Pagecraft. Shout out to Pagecraft, Heidi and Carlo. They're amazing.
Nice.
Kind of like nuts to bolts. Because, sketches are pretty different than like a narrative
Hmm.
short or narrative feature
For
or
sure.
writing a series. So it was good to get some like technique in there of
Right.
story
I'm
structure.
glad you say that because I've met people who just want to throw that out the window and just kind of go for
Oh,
it. And I'm always
it's,
advising, like, you should study a little bit about, the
oh,
engine, how it all connects and gets the
yeah,
story moving forward and how it, like, there's a whole process, it's like you almost have to be a story engineer in some ways.
100%.
Yeah.
And it kind of informs, like a writer who also acts, an actor who also writes, they talk to each other. So you can kind of understand more of the process.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just it's good. It's good to be on both sides. I would
Absolutely.
say to
Yeah.
anyone.
As an actor with that knowledge, you can it'll inform you even better how to like prepare for
Yes.
how you see a scene and the timing of it and where it happens and what you're trying to achieve as an actor according to the moment in the story. When you're that informed, you're like an intelligent actor now, and you can definitely discuss
Exactly.
things, and just know what's going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And like a lot of times, most directors at least I've worked with are open to, improv or ad libs or
Hmm.
kind of putting your own spin on things. And so it's such a gift if you're also been on the writer's side to be like, oh, let me just try this, or
For
let me
sure.
I think this character would say this, and you just kind of play.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that willingness of the writer to be open to the actor they're working with. Yeah, it's gonna enhance
It's huge.
like just yeah, overall everything for sure.
Totally.
Um I have to apologize for the black and white. My webcam is acting funky. I
Oh,
forgot
it's all
to
good. I like it. It's like a film noir vibe
yeah,
going
kind
on.
of. Kind of accidental. I was all morning trying to fix it, and I don't know. I'm gonna have to buy a new one, I guess. I don't know,
Oh man.
but
I'm sorry.
it's okay. But so let's get into kind of jump around. Uh, is it? Jody Andrews, the director.
Josie
Josie,
Andrews.
sorry.
Yes.
And so how did you get connected with her and how was that process as a writer to and
Totally.
producer and just how did you work with her and create the vision?
Yeah, so Josie I met at an event at Holocaust Museum LA,
Oh wow.
and we both attended the screening of a short film called The Anne Frank Gift Shop. And it was another Jewish dark comedy
Uh-huh.
and my special favorite brand.
Nice. Yeah.
And I was chatting with Josie a bit at just, they had like a some snacks and drinks after. And I just wrapped up the play version of Catalogue of Noses that had just been
Ah,
presented. And the seed had already been planted in my brain of this should be a short film. Like so many people after the public presentation of it were like, you need to film this. It needs to go to schools, it needs to go to festivals, it needs to just go all over the place.
that's
Um,
awesome. Yeah.
so I think I talked to Josie at that kind of, after party thing, and I mentioned, oh yeah, I have this idea about, this musical comedy about a girl who's getting a nose job, and it's set to Fiddler on the Roof parody music. And she was like, we need to talk. Let's get coffee.
Right.
And we chatted, met up later, and I learned that she also was a child actor who got a nose job at 16.
Oh,
And
wow.
we instantly connected. I knew right then and there. I was like, this is the person who needs to help me tell this story.
Yeah.
And she is phenomenal. She is such an just incredibly talented filmmaker. All of the things that you were mentioning before, like the
Hmm.
tight just shots and angles and colors and
Hmm.
music cues, like that, all of that was just like elevated from the original vision I had and what was on the page. Josie's so smart.
That's
And it was
awesome.
just wonderful. It was just like somebody who just, we were on the same wavelength the
Hmm.
whole time. And I would I would work with her a million times over. She's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
And that's really great. 'Cause I didn't know that how how you guys met and had
Yeah,
that connection. I had no idea. So, that and when that happens, when you meet another person who's on the same page
right.
and they have the talent to elevate your vision, you're bringing this like substance to the table and then she comes in and says, "Well, let's raise it up a bit." That's like
It's
magic.
huge. Yeah, and
Magical,
it
yeah.
was just, almost this gut instinct. We'd never worked together before. I saw some of her other work, some of which was also music videos and musical, just
Nice.
elements. But there was just something about her and talking to her and yeah, having this real heart-to-heart conversation
Mhm.
where I just knew. I was like,
This
this
is
is
the
going to be
one.
a wonderful collaboration. Yeah,
Nice.
and then you were mentioning the rest of the team, so like everything kind of fell into place. Once Josie and I were like, okay, we're doing it. Then it was kind of a matter of bringing in other friends. I would say actually almost everyone on the team was another Jewish female actor, writer, producer.
Hmm.
Uh, Everyone had made several shorts before. This was, to be honest, this was my first narrative short film. I had done, as I said, like these micro shorts and
Hmm.
sketches, but I was like, no, if we're gonna do this for real and be
Yeah.
going to festivals and putting this out in the world, I want to just bring people together who've done this a ton.
Yeah, yeah. That's
So,
amazing.
man,
It's a sounds like a blessing and that like how it all
totally,
came together and you had people with already experience and just willing to, put in just kind of be a piece of the puzzle,
totally.
everyone and that, sometimes I find with other filmmakers they who've done films like my worry is that they're gonna want to kind of take over or something. That's always been, but it doesn't seem like this was happening here. It seems like everything kind of
Yeah.
gelled and everybody
We
was on
got
board.
really lucky. I feel like everyone just sort of was, it wasn't even so much I had to do. Everyone just kind of like delegated themselves, be like, this
Hmm.
is what I feel comfortable with. I can handle casting, I can handle paperwork. Like it was thankfully so smooth that way. And
Very
at first
cool.
I was like, oh my gosh, like we have 8 producers. Like this is a lot of people. So I had a similar concern,
Yeah,
initially too. And then when I realized just the more hands on deck in this situation, the better. It was so
yeah,
nice at any time being like, oh, look, I have, 3 people over here I can ask. I have 2 people over here handling this I can talk to. It was just, and everyone just really collaborated very well.
very cool. So how many days of shooting did you do? What was the kind of planning?
Yeah.
How was
So
that
we ended
like?
up with 2.5 days of shooting. So we shot all of the doctor stuff. That was over 2 days in
Hmm.
this. It was an actual doctor's office in Glendale, California.
Nice.
Um, so we, yeah, covered all of that. And then we did a half day shoot. One of our producers has a studio and production office. So all the casting director flashbacks and flash forwards were
Hmm.
done there.
That's impressive. I figured
Yeah.
it would, at the very least, taking a week. Like it just seemed like there was so much going on, especially with the dance sequences. And
Yes.
the thing that sticks out the most was the dancers coming out with like they were like big noses. You know,
Yeah.
I was like, how, how, how,
It's my favorite. It's my favorite part.
how did that
Uh,
happen? Please let me know how did that
yeah.
come
So we
from?
did, yeah, we did have one choreography rehearsal with the dancers, and Josie also was our choreographer. So
Nice.
she blocked out all those dances. We had Gemma, our lead actor, and our three nose dancers, Gabby Free, Lillian, Mimi McKenzie, and Sarah Cornelia Ryan. They all came over to my house, actually, like right over there where I'm looking in my living room. And we just
Nice.
pushed the furniture back and we blocked it all out.
Wow.
And we made sure they practiced with those nose heads and
Yeah.
insulated them, to make sure they could see and breathe.
Yeah.
And
Where did those noses come from? Did you have to like, were they already part of some theater thing or part of your
so
play,
funny.
or did you have
No, so
to?
we ordered them offline. They were part of a
Oh,
Halloween costume called Running Noses. So they came with
oh,
these giant nose heads and little running tank tops and shorts.
yeah.
And we
That's
just,
so funny. Wow. That's so
yeah,
crazy. I thought maybe you had to
so
like
crazy.
kind of custom make them or something. That's crazy. That's that's so
Yeah, a
funny.
little bit. We sort of had to like, rig them a little bit, stuff that,
Sure.
like actually stuff them up with cotton and, put some
Sure,
wires
sure.
in there to make sure they stayed straight.
Sure. Yeah, but that's incredible. That's creativity there at work, you know.
For sure, for sure. Yeah.
So I'm just checking the time because I think we only have 30 minutes and I don't, you know, I think we have like I think like 12 no, what is that? 8 yeah, about 18 minutes I think. So I think.
Cool.
So are you planning on like bringing back that team together again? Because it
Yes.
seemed like everything what you guys were able to produce was, in my opinion, amazing. And it seemed like it would be a smart thing to come back together to do something else.
Yes. I'm actually right now in the works. I'm writing my next thing, which is another dark comedy. And
Hmm.
I'll probably do shoot like a proof of concept as a short, and then the goal is for it to be a series. And
Oh,
already I
wow.
was like, yeah, I would love if everyone is available and, in to do it. The same
Yeah.
exact team would be fabulous.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That would be incredible. Like just to imagine a series of your kind of work. That would be pretty
Thank you.
interesting. I feel like entertaining and just professional overall. Yeah, I could totally see it
Thank
happening.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be that's the goal. It's, now that I've gotten a taste of it, I'm like, oh man, I just want to keep going.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, for sure. What are your are you still pursuing acting as well or just like
yes,
kind of both, like writing and acting and producing?
writing and acting. So yeah,
Yeah.
this next idea I have in mind, I would also star in. So it'd be fun. This first short, Catalogue of Noses, when we did it as a play, I starred in the play version. But for
Nice.
film, it was so important we needed a real teenager.
Mm.
So I kind of like snuck myself in. I won't give
Yeah.
spoilers in case, people haven't seen it yet, but like snuck myself in a tiny little cameo.
Yeah.
And honestly, for like the first time doing this rodeo, it was sort of a relief to be like, cool, this is, I just show up and do this little bit on camera, and then everything I can run around and do all
Hmm.
the other things I need to do.
Yeah.
But for the next thing, I would love to jump in and star and be able to, yeah, put that comedic voice and just chops to
Yeah.
use. And yeah, I've been, it's kind of a roller coaster in the industries
Hmm.
all the time. But now too, just with production is a little less than it used to be. So it's just so much, it's so important to just keep making your own work.
Yeah.
So I've been doing a
Yeah.
lot of, yeah, producing and acting in a lot of theater out here in LA and, helping out on other friends' films, acting in other friends' films and
Nice.
projects. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it seems like you're on a good like growing path, and
Thanks.
no doubt that as long as you keep putting out material and content this high standard, so like some people are going to notice. Like people in the industry, I'm sure will notice. And next thing you know, they're calling you. It's like, hey, can you? We might have a role for you, or hey,
Ooh.
we like your writing style. Do you think you could, maybe work on this with us or something? You never know. That's the
Hey, you
thing.
never know.
Yeah.
From your lips to God's ears. That's what we say.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I can see it happening. Yeah, you seem to have such a great attitude, and I could totally see something happening for you for sure.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. It means a
Um.
lot.
Yeah, you're welcome. Is there anything that you would like to talk specifically? Because I think I just kind of ran out of questions, and I don't know if you
No,
want
it's
to.
all good.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I feel like that covered we've covered a
Covered a
lot in
lot.
a
Yeah.
short amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, what are your like specifically, what are your aspirations in the acting field? Like where do you see yourself or where do you want to be in like let's say 10 years from now?
Man, oh man. Yeah, I would love to be the showrunner and star of my own show. That's
Whoa.
10 year, 15 year, who knows how many years that is.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to be writing and acting in my own stuff.
Yeah.
That's really and it's specifically on this half-hour sitcom
Hmm.
track. That's my favorite,
That would be
as I think I
cool.
mentioned earlier, favorite
Yeah,
genre to be in.
that's like
Um,
reconnecting your childhood basically, kind of like
yeah,
full
full
circle.
circle.
Yeah, that'd be very
Exactly.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and second to that is just, I guess even as a child actor, and maybe it's because of my old nose, like I never, maybe I need to redact what I just said. I don't need to be the star or the lead in everything. I kind of
Mhm.
just love this idea of being a working actor and just
Sure.
finding juicy, fun parts wherever they are.
For sure.
I think something about growing up with this whatever this idea of a flawed appearance was kind of made me more open to be like, oh right, the ingenues are sort of boring. Like it's much more fun to play these fun, flawed, quirky
For
characters.
sure. For sure.
And
Yeah, speaking of which, yeah, I saw a picture of you from the show, The Marvelous Miss Maisel.
oh yeah,
That
talk about
character,
quirky.
yeah. Yeah, do you want to like kind of get into that if you can and
Yeah,
like kind of how you got the role and just the process of preparing for the shoot and just how the shoot went.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was probably the best experience I've ever had on any set ever. Working on The
Cool.
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. That is talk about A team. Oh my goodness.
I bet, yeah.
Uh yeah, I auditioned for that show. I remember thinking fully, I will not book this show. I remember thinking like, nope, like the role was described as a hunchbacked, gorgon, mousy, sad woman named
Wow.
Amelia. And I was like, you know what? Like that, not to toot my own horn, but I was like, I'm not hunchbacked and I'm not a gorgon.
Right.
This is going to be a long shot. But I just remember I was like, I'm just going to be me and just see what happens and just
Yeah.
and so when I booked it, I was shocked. And I remember going to the soundstage and this was also during pandemic times. You have to take like
Oh,
5
wow.
million COVID tests and make
Oh,
sure you're cleared to work.
yeah.
Um, and I remember going to the costume department, which was just, oh my God, just insane. If you're obsessed with shoes and clothes and
Yeah.
everything, hats, every color of the rainbow.
Yeah.
And I remember I was so happy. They dressed me in this outfit, and every picture I was beaming. And
Uh-huh.
the showrunner, Amy Sherman Palladino, I think the feedback that got back was like, she's too happy. Like, we need her to look sad.
Yeah.
And so then they added this like styrofoam hunchback into this suit to like actually transform.
Oh
And then they
man.
were like, we're gonna take more pictures, don't smile. I was like, oh, right, right, right. Okay, I have to be right. Even when I'm not on camera, I need to be acting. And then they put on, 5 million different wigs until they found the right mousy looking wig.
Hmm.
And it was just the coolest thing.
So hopefully it doesn't just I'm not sure when this because I lost kind of count when this thing is gonna run out. But when I saw the picture of the character you were playing, I was like, holy cow, she is transformed completely.
Totally.
You were just like that character. And it was really impressive that like and I can tell that your comedic sensibilities kind of help bring that out. I feel like, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah,
because
thanks.
it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like, because that is quite the character.
It's quite the, and you know what I realized? I was like, you know what? I really don't have to do so much. Like
Hmm.
the wig and the costume and the hunchback and everything else just kind of like told that story. So
Yeah,
it was actually really a lesson for me in just less is more. I was like, I'm just
sure.
gonna show up and not smile and just sit at this table and look at this beautiful piece of cake and all
Yeah,
these beautiful people around me, and I think that was enough.
which is like, honestly, you say it like as an easy thing, but it's actually can be a hard thing to be like, all
Yeah.
right, like do nothing, basically.
Do
Like it's
nothing.
just
Right.
like,
Basically do nothing.
yeah, and it's
And
just
the
like,
way that,
well, I'm an actor, I'm
yeah,
supposed to be doing something, but it's like, no, bring it
I
down.
know. And everyone
Just
else
yeah,
on that show, I mean, Alex Borstein, who plays Susie, and Maren Hinkle, who plays Rose, like they get to be the big personalities and they're
sure,
hilarious and
sure.
wonderful. So it's a wonderful foil to them to just be like, all right, sad and mousy and just the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just, that show was interesting too. That's a show where actually you're not allowed to ad lib. Everything needs to be word perfect and it needs to be in a certain rhythm and pace. And if
Mm,
it's not, like, they'll do it a million times to make
wow.
sure. I think we probably did like 40 or to 50 takes of that one scene.
Wow.
And it almost becomes just like autopilot. Like
Uh-huh.
after a while I was like, oh wow, yeah, I really don't have to do anything. Just say it. Just,
Yeah.
whatever the words are, just get it out and just say it, and that's it. And
Were
just naturally.
you were you nervous? Were there a little bit of nerves going on?
Oh, for sure, for sure. Because this was COVID, so I think I hadn't actually been on a set. Yeah, this was like 2023, so I hadn't been on a set for a couple years
Hmm.
with everything shut down, and I was like, oh man, like I haven't been on a set in a minute, and it's these big showrunners, and this popular show. Like I just don't want to
Huge
mess it
show.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge,
So it
huge.
was definitely some, but everyone on the show was so lovely,
Yeah.
especially yeah, Marin and Alec. They were just wonderful. It was wonderful. You could tell a family there.
I can imagine, yeah. I mean, I don't know the crew per se, but I imagine the show's been going on for a long
Yeah.
while. I'm
Yeah.
sure it
By that
must
time,
feel like family for sure, and
right. That point they were already on season 4. So they were also a
nice.
well-oiled,
Yeah, yeah,
machine.
absolutely. Yeah. Well, yeah. So, like I said, if it cuts out, I apologize, but I just
No,
want
it's
to
good.
thank you in advance before it does. Just want to say, how much I appreciate that you took the time to do this.
My pleasure.
And the fact that we got your submission, your team submission for this festival. I mean, when I get submissions, I'm always like, oh no, is this going to be good or bad? And, and then I come across some good ones. Then I come across yours and I'm like, what is this? This is
Well,
amazing, And so I was just really blown away and just thankful that we were able to receive something like that, and I'm so excited to share it. And I can't wait for people to watch it and whatnot. So
yeah, I can't wait to hear how it goes. I'm sorry I can't be there in person. I hope it's a
it's
huge
okay.
attendance.
I'm
And
trying so hard. I'm even handing out gift cards to attendees
oh my
randomly. I
gosh.
told them, hey, you show up and you showing me that you're there to watch movies. I'm handing out gift cards randomly. So hopefully I'm giving them excuses to
Good for
show up,
you.
and today you kind of have to because I've been to festivals like B-level festivals and it's mostly the filmmakers And sometimes it's just the filmmakers that attend their own screening, or it's like, or they just show up for the awards, or and then you
Right.
have a room that's empty, and I'm just like, it makes me so sad because there's, yes, sometimes there's some rough stuff, but you can appreciate some things, and there's some humor in it. But then you have like really great stuff, and
Yeah,
you're just like,
totally.
people, you're missing it, and it's just, I wish, there were more people. As somebody said, I heard them talking, I think it was a podcast or something. They were saying independent movies and just kind of movies in general, because of like video games and social media and other things, movies are becoming like, I don't know if this is true, if you feel the same way, but it's almost like becoming a thing where you go and attend a play.
Huh.
It's becoming like old-fashioned in a weird way.
Yeah.
And I don't know,
Yeah, that's true. I've
you
noticed
feel
that.
that way?
I personally don't go to movie theaters that often unless it's like
I
a
don't
big
either. Yeah, yeah. Once in
or
a while,
something.
yeah. And it's like,
Yeah,
and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because
the
like maybe I'm just
streaming.
too busy, or yeah, the
Yeah.
Netflix is so there and it's
I
just
think it's part.
easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really a shame because I'm with you, especially for like to be supporting independent filmmakers is
Hmm.
so important. I think
Yeah.
what's been tough about these, movies in movie theaters, a lot of them, it doesn't have some big blockbuster IP or it doesn't have huge stars, like no one
Right.
cares. And that's tough.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, when it's so expensive, people are like, oh no, I'll just wait to, you know, stream it on Netflix. Like,
Yeah.
it's tough, but I really appreciate that you are bringing independent filmmakers into the spotlight, and I think it's crucial. We need to be recognizing new talent
Yeah,
and
I want to
lifting
keep,
up.
I'm a filmmaker as well, actor and
Cool.
writer and all these,
Yeah, I
and
was gonna
and
ask.
I've been through it all, and like I sometimes just like I feel so bad sometimes, and so like, either because the film festival has like scheduled multiple films at once, so you
Mhm.
can't see them all, like they overlap. Like I don't like that.
Right.
Or either things are just too expensive, or I don't know, just this or that. And it's like now I've done the full week and I've attended every day, like every hour of the festival, and it is exhausting.
It
And
is.
I was the only one doing it because no one's crazy enough to do that, or they have jobs. So my thing is like, let's just focus on one day that we can promote and put in a cycle. So let's say like the last Sunday of every month, which is easy
Cool.
to remind people, hey, the last Sunday of every month we're screening the festival indie films. It's a
Amazing.
continuation. So instead of just like poof, full week where like
Yeah.
people can't make it, it's just like one day out of the month. You know what day it'll be. You come out, you win gift cards. Popcorn is only $5 and it's like free refills
Nice.
for the whole day, for the whole day. So
I
I
love
try
that.
I try to make it accessible for audiences, because it doesn't seem like, someone was talking about this. I was listening to them. Like, festivals are tricky because they want to fill the room, but
Hmm.
because they have a hard time filling in with audiences, they fill it with filmmakers, which is not a bad networking thing, I guess, at the end of the day. But at the same time, this is the trick they use. They have, let's say, one award, which is like, let's just say best director. They will nominate like 14 people and only one will win. But you have 14 people showing up hoping they win, and then you have people go, at the end of the day, how much does this all really matter? But to me, it's not really about winning the award or this. It's more about, hey, come check out these independent films. This used to be a
Yeah.
thing before it blew up, and now you have stars that are like in $1 million budgets, and they call that independent. Which, okay, it's some in
Yeah.
some degree it is, but another degree it's like, it's kind of like movies back in the day when you had a star and a budget. And it's like, it's not
Right.
really, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it
I
takes
totally hear
away
you.
it takes away from the real independent stuff, and so
Agree.
I'm really trying to just like contain that culture somewhere so that people can go, hey, you can't find this in streaming services. You can't find these in like the big theaters, and some of them are like owned by China even or something. They're not even like owned by
Of
American
course.
companies. So like the theater I'm in is a local family-run theater. it was around in the 80s, and then
Wow.
they took it over like 3 years ago, and I've been helping renovate it.